So we're here right now checking out your submission for assignment 9, which is mostly to do with lighting and rendering. So just a couple things we're going to look at right off the bat here is when we go ahead and render this. We've only got this one light illuminating the scene at the moment. So for this assignment, you'll want to make sure that you have your key light, your fill light, and your backlight. Okay, so you want to have at least 3 lights included here. Okay, and they also should be, oriented in such a way that you're, really illuminating a lot of the scene. Okay, from different angles. So you've got your spotlight, and we'll say that is going to be your key light. All right, you've even got it animated so that it's following your checker piece moving along here. So good job on that. That's pretty cool. So let's just go about adding some other lights to really help this scene out. Okay, because at the moment it's very limited in what we're able to see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple more spotlights to really fill out this scene, alright? So, we've got our key light. I think the next thing that we're going to want to work on is a fill light, some kind of fill, alright, to help illuminate the rest of the scene here for us, okay? So I'm gonna create lights, and I'm gonna use a spotlight for this. So just grab a spotlight. Now there's a cool thing that you can do when you've got your spotlight. You can just come up to panels. Make sure you have your light selected when you're doing this. Panels. You can hit look through selected. Alright, and now basically anywhere we move, our spotlight is moving with us, alright? So we're just kind of viewing the world from our spotlight. So I'm going to move my spotlight around so that it's kind of at an angle here. Okay, so you've got, kind of if you imagine this, your camera is right around in here somewhere, okay? Your key light is right here, then your fill light is going to wind up being, kind of on the opposite side of the camera from your key light, okay? So it'll be in this kind of area, generally, as a general rule of thumb. Now, I can change a lot of settings here with this light. For example, I can change the cone angle to illuminate more or less of the scene. I'm going to illuminate quite a lot of it. And I can also soften the light, alright, the edges of the light by changing this penumbra angle. Okay, so let's take a look at that. I'm going to go to panels, camera 1, and we'll see how that looks. Okay, so we have some light going on. Maybe it's not really ideal though. It's not quite placed right where we want it. So we can then just go back and look through our light again, and we can, readjust this if we want. We can move it back. We can move it forward. We can move it around. Whatever you want to do with it. So just, try different things. Experiment with these lights until you can find something that you like. Okay, so that's looking a little better. We can kind of see the whole scene. It's still pretty dark, and you can see this is pretty bright right here where our focus is at. The other thing that you'll want to take a look at is, you know, if we come up, I'm going to use my perspective camera to render for a moment because the camera one is really super far away, so it's kind of hard to see what's going on there. So I'm coming to my perspective camera here so I can kind of see this a little better. So if we render that up close, and I'll choose a spot where it's not moving so dramatically so we can really kind of see it. We've got light coming in from this side, okay, and illuminating that, all right. And we've got our spotlight, which is quite bright, right here, okay. That's our key light. But you can see this area right here, just kind of fades to black. There's like no light over there anywhere at all. So you're just kind of losing the outline of this shape, okay? So that's kind of the job of the backlight, to kind of illuminate the darkened side, all right, of your object and kind of make it pop from the background and pop out from the ground, you know, so that you can really see that shape fully defined. So, you know, let's add one more light. We'll go with create lights, and I'll just do another spotlight for this one. I'll just use panels, look through selected, and again, I'll just kind of adjust my settings this way. Now for a backlight, you know, if your camera's going to be over there somewhere, you're going to want your backlight to pretty much be facing towards the camera, you know, maybe a little off on the angle there, alright? I'm going to make this cone angle a lot bigger so that I'm encompassing, you know, both this chest piece over here and this one over here, alright? I can change the penumbra angle if I want so that it's a lot softer. Let's see how it looks and see what happens, and then if we don't like it, we can change it. Okay, so now you can see here where we're getting a lot more definition on this side of our check piece now, okay? So it's helping that really pop from the background, which is good. This one, you know, I'd say it's probably a little bit bright because it is really blowing out this checker piece here. Okay, so I might pull that down just a little bit. Alright. So, you know, once you get something like that, you can see that your scene is going to be a little bit better illuminated. You're going to be able to see things better, and what's going on. Your eye is going to, you know, still focus on this bright spotlight, but, you know, you'll be able to see the rest of the scene as well. And even though we've added a lot of light, you know, it's still pretty muted. So if you're going for that kind of bright spotlight look, you've still got it, you know, but you're able to see the rest of the scene now. So one thing that you also might want to adjust is that we've got shadow information coming from multiple directions now. So you can see these shadows over here coming from this light in this area, okay? So, you know, you don't necessarily want that. So we can turn off our shadows on different lights. So I'll grab this light here. I can come down to shadows. Right now it's using ray trace shadows. I can just uncheck this. We're going to render that. Okay, so no more shadows going on there. Ideally, you know, we probably really only want shadows coming from our key light, okay? So once I've done that, you know, I can start doing rendering. Once I'm happy with my composition, you know, I look at a couple frames and I'm like, all right, I like it. We can start rendering that. A good practice is to set your project and save your scene as part of a project so that you can easily find those rendered images later, all right? So just for an example of that, I'm going to create a folder on my desktop here, and I'll just name it Checkers. I'm going to use that as my project file, all right? So I'll just come up here to File, Set Project. I'll navigate to my desktop, click on my Checkers file, and I'll hit Set. And I'm going to also choose Create Default Workspace. All right. So now anything that I save that's part of this, scene or project or anything like that is going to wind up in that folder. All right. So I'll also come up to File, Save Scene As. And you can see as soon as I hit Save Scene As, it's already navigated to that Checkers folder that I just made, all right? It knows automatically now that anything to do with this Checkers project is going to go in this folder that I have set up for it, all right? I'll just name this Checkers Scene. Okay, there we go. So you can check it out here. Here it is, Checkers Scene. Great. So the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and do a batch render of this. All right. I've checked my render settings, and I'm happy with them all. They're camera 1, HD. That's fine. Actually, for now, I'm just going to set this to something a little smaller. All right. So I'll just do 640 by 480, just for the purpose of because I can. And I'm also going to set this to PNG. That's just a personal preference of mine. Obviously you can use the IF format, or you can use JPEG, or whatever you like to use. Different ones have different advantages. So, I generally like to choose a PNG. So I'll just go ahead and go with that. I'll come up to Render. Make sure you're on the rendering menu here. Okay, so rendering. That's how you're going to get this render option. And I'm just going to come down to batch render. It's going to start rendering it out. You can see your batch render monitor here. And down on the bottom, it's going to show you what kind of progress it's made with rendering. So it's going to do that for a moment till it's all done. Pretty exciting. Alright, so let's check that out. Okay, so now that we've rendered it, we come to our project folder here, okay, Checkers. And you'll see there's this folder called Images, and here's where all of those rendered images are living. They're all sequenced. Okay. So, the next step is, well, okay, great, I have those. So how do I actually view them? I mean, instead of clicking through each picture, I want to be able to see them all as one, movie. And we can use fcheck for that. And, if what works for you is hitting render, show batch render, that'll bring up fcheck and let you mess with fcheck on that, okay? My computer does not play nice with fcheck, as you may see. So, generally I get some weird stuff going on with fcheck. But, on yours it should work all right. I've tried it with the PC side of my computer, and it seems to work just fine. You can also just come in here to the file on your computer, just click on this first one, alright, right click and hold. And, you can come to Open With, And on your PC it'll look a little different, but it'll still be okay, open with. And you'll be able to choose FCheck, or if FCheck does not pop up immediately, which it does not on my PC, you can always go to Other and navigate to where FCheck is located on your computer. Right, I think on mine it's under Autodesk Maya 2014, there it is. And you can select FCheck and hit open. Alright, so that'll give you just the one image. But once you've opened FCheck, you can come into Open Sequence. And you can choose this guy right here. And hit open, and it'll load the entire sequence of images. So, again, on my Mac here, FCheck just goes crazy. so I don't tend to use it, but it will function all right on a PC, as far as I know. At least it does on mine. But an alternative to that might be something like QuickTime 7. That's what I personally use. The problem there is that while on a Mac, QuickTime 7 does include Open Image Sequence functionality. On the Windows version of QuickTime 7, it is only available with QuickTime Pro. Alright, so if you already have QuickTime Pro or QuickTime 7 Pro, you can use that to open image sequences. If not, I just stick with coming in to FCheck here and just hitting Show Batch Render. Okay? So that's it for this video. Let me know if you have any questions about any of this stuff. Thanks for watching, and happy animating.